What's going on, guys? Thomas Garetz here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make $100 a day with cryptocurrency. And I'm not going to sit here and be like all those other videos where you just buy and sell crypto and I'm this genius trader, because trading crypto as a beginner is just the last thing you want to do to make money with crypto. Trust me. I don't know the statistics, but I'd say probably like 90% of people who start trading crypto and stocks as a beginner lose. So that's not what we're going to talk about. But I am going to teach you 3 different ways to make $100 a day with crypto. And the third way is actually something I'm doing right now to make much more than $100 a day with crypto. And it's absolutely insane. So make sure you stay tuned for that, okay? But now, before we actually get into like the meat and potatoes of this video, I kind of want to share like my experience and backstory with crypto, as well as just a little bit about crypto in case you're brand new and never heard of crypto before, which I'm assuming most of you have, but I'll get into it just a little bit for those who don't. But I think it'd be kind of cool just to share kind of my experience with crypto right now and in the past, just because I've never really talked about it. So I think it's a little interesting, and I'll make it quick, don't worry. But basically, first off, crypto is kind of like digital currency. At least that was the idea of it starting, to kind of have something digital and decentralized from like the government controlling it. You know what I mean? But it's turned into so much more than that. I mean, sure, you got the currency aspect with like now DeFi, decentralized finance, just going crazy, which we'll talk about more later in this video. But you got crypto gaming, you got all types of stuff, because really it's the technology behind crypto, which is this blockchain technology. And I don't want to get too much into it, but it's absolutely changing everything with gaming, NFTs, you got currency, DeFi, you got all these different things, and it's really crazy. And the even crazier thing is I think a lot of people look at it still as like a scam, or I don't know, some people like my generation, the younger generation, is really more hip to it. You know what I mean? They're not as like, they believe in it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's kind of like when the internet first started. There were so many people, or even cell phones, that were like, cell phones are gonna die off. Internet's a scam. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how it works with any new technology. Okay? So I think, like I said, the younger generation kind of understands that, and they're, like I said, more hip to the idea of crypto in general, or even investing in crypto, okay? And yeah, so that's basically a little bit about crypto. And for me, I first heard about crypto literally I graduated in 2010, okay? And I believe it was the summer of 2010 or 2011. Now, my friends were doing stuff they probably shouldn't have done. You know, most of you, if you're into crypto, you understand what Silk Road is. But the reason I mentioned that is because it used to be really difficult. Like, he was trying to explain to me how to buy Bitcoin. I'm like, first of all, what is Bitcoin? You know? And then it's like he's explaining how he has to do it. I'm like, I ain't doing that. That sounds way too confusing. But nowadays it's much easier, which again, I'll get into that. But my experience really, without going too far back, I mean, the first time I actually invested was in 2017 in this big run up, okay? There was a bunch of ICOs going on, which is like crypto's version of going public, like an IPO. And those basically ended up crashing all of it. And they don't really do that anymore. But I also sold when it started going down. I panic sold, right? I got scared. I ended up making a little bit of money, but if I had just held on, I would have made a bunch of money, okay? So I didn't end up actually getting back into crypto until right around here in July, when crypto and tech stocks all dropped like 50%. And yeah, so that's when I actually got back into crypto and stuff. And from that, I told you guys I created this investing channel. But these videos, actually it started on my main channel right here. And I made a couple videos back like when I first invested, but actually this video right here about Floki, it did really well. So I created this investing channel, right? And I had planned on doing this, but I ended up making the videos all about Floki, and I ended up getting in talks with the Floki Inu team. So now I actually post those videos on the Floki Inu official channel. So like I said, I'm super into crypto now, and that's kind of my backstory without going too in depth and wasting too much of your time. But yeah, so that's what it is, okay? Now, the thing about this video is I want it to be useful for anyone. Does that make sense? So like whether you're a beginner or an expert, Now, the first two are kind of more towards beginners, but the third one really, I wouldn't call myself a beginner, and I didn't know about it for a while. And when I first found out about it, and now, like I said, I'm doing it, it's changing my life. So I don't care how much experience you have, these can truly help you, okay? And not financial advice, but it could make you money too, you know? So let's just hop right into that. And the first way is basically the most simple way. Okay, this is what I would suggest, not financial advice, if you're a beginner. You just go, here, let me turn on my phone. Okay, so right here, you can download any exchange, okay? Like, for example, I used to use Coinbase for everything. Unfortunately, their fees are pretty high, but they're like the most, I mean, they're like the biggest. At least in the US, they're the biggest, okay? So you got Coinbase, you got Kraken, you got Voyager, you got all these different centralized exchanges, okay? The first thing I would say is just go on any of these exchanges, so Coinbase, and literally you just deposit some money, and then you can either set up like a recurring deposit or a recurring purchase of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the two biggest. I don't see either of those going anywhere, you know what I mean? So personally, if I was gonna say this is the easiest way to like get into crypto safely, it's probably just invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum, like dollar cost average, they call it. Basically buy consistently over time and just hold it. You know what I mean? And that's decent. Okay, that's like the most basic way. Okay, I'm not going to show you how to actually buy crypto. It's so simple. You add your bank account and you buy it, right? And the cool thing about Coinbase is you see I have USD coin right there, right? So the cool thing is a lot of people say, oh, you can't buy anything with crypto. All these exchanges are starting to come out with debit cards, and I actually got one from Coinbase. So that's my Coinbase debit card, right? So I can literally spend my USD coin with that Visa card anywhere. So that's just super cool, okay? But now, like, that's just like the most basic thing. If you're into crypto, you already understand that. But I think Bitcoin, like if you added it up over the entire time since it's been around, it's 200% a year it's gone up. So I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen, but basically you can count on it going up every year. Even if it goes down some years, over time it will go up, okay? And not financial advice, who knows what's gonna happen. I'm just saying that's why people like Michael Saylor, Elon Musk, they buy Bitcoin and hold it, right? Because it's a hedge against inflation. It's like digital gold, all these reasons, okay? And yeah, so that's the first way. Now, number two kind of combines that with another thing. So basically, if I go right here, I mentioned Voyager. This, I think I did at least. That's another centralized exchange right next to Coinbase there. Now, I personally use Voyager as my main centralized exchange app now for one main reason, okay? So this is gonna take a little more money to actually make $100 a day, but basically, Coinbase, you can just hold your crypto. Some things do this, but not like Voyager. So if I just scroll over right here, you can see annual percentage. So what that does is you're staking your crypto, and all you have to do is literally hold it on there. So if you just were holding Bitcoin and Ethereum here, you would make 4.75% for Bitcoin and 4.25% for ETH a year. Okay? That's crazy. So for example, you know, you put 100,000 into Bitcoin, you're gonna get $4,700 a year, right? So that's like what, $400 a month or something. So obviously you need a lot more to make $100 a day with this strategy, like actually staking, but it really adds up, okay? So if you're just gonna hold Bitcoin and Ethereum, I would personally suggest using it on an exchange where you're actually getting paid. Like for example, USD coin right here, 9%, but on Coinbase, you only get 1%, okay? So now, they might change it in the future, and Voyager is also coming out with the debit card. They haven't came out with it yet, but just so you know, that's number two, okay? But again, you're gonna need more money to actually make that much. However, number three, like I said, is my favorite, and this is like staking on crack, and you can make $100 a day with a lot less money. So let me show you this. Let me hop on my computer, okay? So right here, these are my wallets, okay? So these are my DeFi wallets, so decentralized finance. Remember I was mentioning that at the beginning, And like I said, I have it staked right here, and it's staking on crack because for number 3, it's called yield farming. Okay, it's something that's still so new because DeFi is so new. But basically, for example, let me just show you what I do here. Okay, so basically, you see I got Dark Knight and NightSwap. It's the same project, just on 2 different blockchains. So you got the Binance blockchain and the Phantom blockchain. Phantom's pretty new. Binance is much more like, Binance is the exchange, the huge exchange, biggest exchange in the world. And then they got the Binance coin. They got the BUSD coin, which is like pegged at $1. But basically, it's the blockchain. So basically, you can see I have this much staked, and this is how much I've made just by having it staked here. And I'll get more into this, but this is in like 16 hours. I farmed it less than a day ago. Okay, so it's super crazy, right? And basically how it works is, well, I'll get into that. But basically, the biggest decentralized exchange on Binance is PancakeSwap here. Okay, so basically, rather than going on like Coinbase and putting in your bank and buying it with fiat currency, what you do is you have like a DeFi wallet like MetaMask, and you buy crypto, transfer it there, and now you just swap it. Okay, but to swap it, you have to have liquidity. Okay, so on Coinbase, basically that company has a bunch of crypto and they're the liquidity providers. But what you don't know is what they're doing is they're going to DeFi websites and they're just staking that money and making way more. So when you see companies like Voyager where you get 9% or 4% for Bitcoin, what's crazy is if we go to like NightSwap, for example, which is the one I use, like I said, you can see here, let me connect my wallet. So for example, NightSwap has their own Bitcoin farm right here, okay? So how these farms work is you can take half Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin B, it's just Bitcoin on the Binance Smart Chain, the Binance blockchain, and half BNB, equal amount BNB, and you make an LP, so it's a pair, and you provide liquidity on this decentralized exchange, which is NightSwap. Now people can actually go here and trade for this token, and you're getting rewarded this APR for providing that liquidity, okay? So obviously this is much higher than the 4.75 that Voyager gives you. Now, obviously that's great, but when you go to NightSwap's main farms, which are the Night BUSD and the Night BNB, it's absolutely insane. And I used to think seeing these numbers are scams. And a lot of these DeFi websites, they're not good. But NightSwap has a whole ecosystem around it, which I'm not going to get into in this video, but I believe in it, okay? And if you compound it daily, obviously you could just cash out the money and do whatever you want with it, trade it for other things. But if you compound it daily, you're getting over 800%. And this is always changing, just so you know, it depending on the price and how many people are in the farms. But the reason I use NightSwap, like I said, the ecosystem, but also it's new. It's a lot newer than like PancakeSwap. I think I closed out of it. Let me open it again real quick. So if I go over to the farms on PancakeSwap, you can see their APR, even for their Cake BNB farm, which is their main farm, the Cake token being Pancake's token, is 36%. Now that's great, but you see the liquidity here, 237 million. And on Night's main farm with their token, it's 8.3 million. Okay, so it's much less, but that's actually really good when you look at the market cap of Night compared to the market cap of PancakeSwap. Again, there's so much that goes into this ecosystem that would blow your mind, which maybe I'll talk about in another video. Comment below if you want to learn about that. And by the way, I just wanted to add this part in. So basically right here where it says Night earned, those are the rewards that I'm getting for providing this liquidity. Okay, so basically if I wanted to harvest it and get that Night into my wallet so I could either compound it or trade it, whatever, that's how I would do that. And so I have 423 Night as my rewards, and each Night right here is worth 0.516. So if we go back over to this website, you can see right here to be claimed is 217. So obviously, like, I'm not showing you those numbers to brag. I hope you don't think I'm like, oh, he's so rich. I just want you to see that this is actually my wallet, because I know a lot of people lie online. But yield farming is crazy. But at the end of the day, you got to understand, actually providing liquidity and being in this DeFi space has more inherent risk than even just staking on a centralized exchange, which has more inherent risk than just buying and holding Bitcoin, which obviously has more inherent risk than buying like the S&P 500. So I just want you to understand that, like, yeah, like that may seem like a lot of money to some, but it's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of life. And at the end of the day, I worked my ass off to get it, and I'm willing to take the risk, right? And hopefully I explained everything well enough. I didn't want to make this video super long. So again, I'll make some more videos on this because I do enjoy it, and hopefully you enjoy it as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next video.